The kitchens were not one of the most prominent pieces in the house, but they were indeed an environment that represented the taste of your choices. What made it more remarkable was the iconic era of the 70s, when the old kitchens were met with modern choices, holding up the latest gadgets and bold decisions of that era. Remember the automatic knives, self-cooking crockpots, or the peanut butter machine for making your own peanut butter? These choices were what made the kitchen look like a part of yourself and your house. First, we started with the most vibrant and apparent element of the room that no one could get their eyes set on, and that element was the walls, which were not just plain coats of paint, but the blooming works of art, the ever-known floral patterns. Floral patterns. Kitchens weren't just about cooking in the 70s, but also about expressions of style as well. Remember the trend of embracing lively floral patterns that were spread wide across the kitchen? And instead of a simple coat of paint, people chose wallpaper bejeweled with an array of colorful flowers, turning kitchens into blooming works of art. It was like giving your cooking space a personalized touch, making it feel uniquely yours. Imagine walking into a kitchen where every wall was a canvas of thousands of colors and patterns. This trend grew out to be much bigger, but it died out as fast as it was born, as these wallpapers started to be labeled as outdated and not up to the taste of the people anymore. The kitchen walls of the 70s had more than wallpaper going for them. Another element that stuck to the walls was the iconic kitchen pass-through, a window that provided connection and seclusion to the other rooms at your ease. Kitchen windows. Imagine you're right there in your cozy kitchen, deciding whether to keep that pass-through to the living room wide open or closed to keep a little privacy. Such were the kitchen windows, which were lovely interior shutters that were multi-purpose. Sometimes beyond those shutters, you'd find a breakfast bar counter where you could sit down and have morning conversations or have quick coffee breaks. In the era of uncertain design preferences, these shutters came out as peacemakers, providing a touch of privacy without completely closing the doors. Talking about captivating elements of the kitchen, who could forget the kitchen floors, a marvel carved through patterned linoleum, which was not only captivating, but also an element of ease. Linoleum floors. Going along with the kitchen walls were the kitchen floors, which had a style of their own and were equipped with patterned linoleum, which captured almost every kitchen in the 70s. This flooring wasn't just a trend, but also a practical choice cherished by hardworking moms everywhere because of its durability and, most importantly, the ease of keeping it clean. Imagine a floor that didn't demand routine waxing, which was a real time saver for busy households. What made it even more exciting were the designs. Linoleum wasn't plain and simple, but contained vibrant patterns and color schemes, perfectly setting in with the bold interior design trends of the 70s, making kitchens lively and easy to maintain. It wasn't only the linoleum floor that kept it easy for the hardworking moms, sparing their trouble through rub and scrub. Holding all of the space on your kitchen table were these vinyl tablecloths and the linoleum floors for your table, which were a symbol of practicality and style. Vinyl tablecloths. These tablecloths were more than just table toppers, as they were mess-resistant covers. Imagine the relief of not having to stress over every little stain, as any type of spill, whether from a sticky stain leaving Kool-Aid or a curry spill from a dinnertime accident, could be easily wiped away without the need for a full-blown rub and scrub. These tablecloths weren't just about functionality, but about choosing a perfect outfit for your kitchen table, as they came with vibrant and compelling designs, enhancing your kitchen look. Whether you were into floral patterns, bold colors, or something more understated, there was a tablecloth to match your kitchen's personality. It wasn't only the vibrant yet imaginary floral patterns that brought out the beauty of the kitchen, but also the real ones hanging from the ceiling, a decor trend, a collective sentiment that represented a more natural and grounded existence. Kool-Aid and curry spills weren't just the only mishaps that happened in the kitchen. What about melting cheese that came from the star of every gathering, every party or cheerful occasion, the bubbling pot of cheese fondue? Fondue sets. The fondue set wasn't just a kitchen accessory, but the life of the party, transforming ordinary get-togethers into memorable events. Whether you had to dip your bread and vegetables in it or simply use it as a mouth-watering appetizer, fondue had a compelling way of bringing people together. Imagine the joy of gathering around that warm pot, sharing stories, and playfully sticking your bites in the perfect dip with little forks. The satisfaction of savoring that perfectly coated bite was something extraordinary. In the 1970s, fondue wasn't just a culinary trend, but a social phenomenon that left a mark on the hearts of those who indulged in its cheesy goodness. And for those who rather yearned for a sweet homemade delight, free from preservatives, came a peanut butter machine that could provide a cheesy experience, yet with a peanut flavor. Peanut butter machine. Remember shoving your peanuts in the machine, which would then turn it into a chunky or smooth peanut butter that you could eat raw or with a piece of bread if you liked? Such was the amazing magic of the peanut butter machine, a worthy investment if you were a peanut butter lover. And to top it off with even more delight was its installment plan, which made itself affordable to anybody who wanted it. Now, if we're talking about pots, why remember the one that emerged to simplify dinner preparations as women started to join the workforce in unprecedented numbers? The hero of the day, the mighty CrockPot. CrockPot. As families struggled to maintain the balance of work and home life, the CrockPot stepped into the spotlight, not just as a kitchen gadget, but as a companion for working women. Marketed directly to these women and their families, the CrockPot swiftly became a must-have tool for convenient home-cooked meals. It was evident as the era witnessed a culinary revolution, with CrockPot sales skyrocketing to a staggering $93 million by 1975. Imagine the anticipation, the aroma, compelling you to step into your home, greeted not just by the coziness of your space, but also by the comforting embrace of a meal that had been simmering and melding flavors throughout the day. The mighty CrockPot was not just a mere pot, but a symbol of ease and efficiency, promising a warm, fulfilling meal ready to be consumed after a long, exhausting day at work. Talking about evolutionary gadgets, who could forget the effortless cutting through a simple push button, the magic of an electric knife? Electric knife. Remember the electric knife, a tool our parents relied on so much that they forgot the efforts of manual slicing. While these electric knives might not have been as sturdy or sharp as manual blades, they brought a wave of relief, especially during the annual Thanksgiving feast. Remember the relief of being spared from the tedious sawing through of a dry turkey? With the electric knife's consistent motion, carving through the turkey was as simple as breathing, freeing up more time for shared moments around the table and more mashed potatoes. The kitchen walls and the floors weren't the only elements engraved with designs, but other items were as well. The natural themes, blending floral walls with mushroom-accented countertops, turned kitchens into a place of creativity and self-expression. Mushroom designs. Among the stars of this culinary art were the mushrooms embedded in every object of the kitchen, including cookware, canister sets, trivets, kitchen towels, and even clocks. The compelling part was not just in the functionality of these kitchen items, but also in the playful and often engraved mushroom designs that elevate their beauty. Imagine opening a canister to find a charming mushroom motif, or looking at a clock with a fungi-inspired representation. The mushroom designs were the quirky details that defined kitchens of the 70s. Here we conclude our journey, a memoir of the time when the kitchen was inhabited by families, having home-cooked meals, unaware of the concepts of takeout food. When the cooking was a delight and a zone, a place that represented the personalities of those in charge of that place, and each object therein had a story of its own. From efficient tablecloths to the spilling fondue sets, from flower pots to cooking pots, which part of this memoir compelled you to remember a story of your own?